Shemar James is an intriguing linebacker from University of Florida who brings a combination of physicality, instincts, and leadership to the Dallas Cowboys. A former five-star recruit from Mobile, Alabama, James was a standout athlete who excelled in football, track, and basketball. Though he did not play in his final year at his former high school, James committed to Florida over prominent programs like Alabama, Georgia, Florida State, and others. This is a player that the Dallas Cowboys traded up for, knowing that he's a leader on and off the field and a former team captain. He has always been a fan of the Cowboys, along with his entire family.
That meant a lot to me because I got the call when I believe the Cardinals was on the board. And then my mom, she kind of yelled out the house like the Cowboys just traded up. But then as soon as I got off the phone, my name popped up on the screen. So I was like, I'm a Dallas Cowboy. So I mean that's my family's favorite team and my favorite team since I've been a kid. So it's a dream come true for me. It's extra special for me.
James was rated the number 6 linebacker in the country and the number 3 prospect in Alabama. At Florida, he started 25 games across 3 years, recording 64 tackles, 2 sacks, 4 tackles for a loss, and 1 forced fumble in the 2024 season. His ability to play special teams will be crucial for establishing his early career.
Oh, yes, sir. So I played special teams all 3 years at Florida, so that's something I want to do here, something that I take pride in. So, I mean, yeah, hopefully I'm on special teams. Yes, sir.
The Dallas Cowboys have a ton of new linebackers coming in this year, so competition will be ramped up. DeMarvion Overshown is getting healthy from his injury last year and should be ready to go sometime mid-season. In the meantime, we need a few of these guys to step up. And with a player like Shemar James, he has that opportunity. So let's break him down and see what he can bring to the linebacker position. So on this play here, with a player like James, he has the ability to get after the quarterback and get sacks. With this rep, you'll see him use a nice rip move, force the running back to lose his balance, close in, and make a nice play. With Eberflus's defense, he wants guys attacking at all angles, and this is what this player brings. So we're going to split it. So locking on this play here, just watching Shemar James. He's attacking inside that B gap, and the running back steps up. He attempts to engage in contact, and Shemar James gives him a nice rip move. And sometimes when you're playing that linebacker position, if you can get physical with these guys with those swim moves, rip moves, that can be the big difference in a player being able to affect the play. So he sees the opportunity to get the quarterback, and he takes off, getting a nice sack and the quarterback losing about 10 yards. And with this player, watching the Florida Gators film from this past season, he was one of the guys that jumped off the screen week in and week out. Now, as far as him getting sacks throughout the season, he's not a big-time sack master, but we know that this player has the ability to get it done. And sometimes it's not always about sacks, but can you be one of the players out there that can shake up these quarterbacks and force these guys into mistakes? And some of the best linebackers in the NFL, not only can these guys go out there and stop the run, but they're getting after the quarterback with about 2 to 5 sacks per year. And that is big time, especially when it comes down to a guy like Eberflus, because he wants those athletic linebackers, players that can be able to close in and make a difference. But great play by Shemar James, using that rip move, shocking that running back, and getting after the passer. Here's another rep of him ripping and disrupting the offensive line blocking concept, knifing in and laying a hit on the running back. So locking on this play here, you see that they're running a stretch play to the right. That guard is trying to climb to the second level, but Shemar James stays in front of him, rips that right arm, and meets that running back right at the line of scrimmage. And the thing is, when you're playing that linebacker position, consistency is key. You're going to be going up against a lot of bigger offensive linemen. So being a linebacker who is not only slippery, but you have that ability to be able to use your hands well. It's important to be a linebacker that's aggressive and knows how to avoid blocks with good twitch. It's not perfect with him, but we know that this player can be able to do it. That's why we always stress it that consistency is key. And being 6'1" and about 225 pounds, they're saying that he's going to play that will position. And this is one of those players that will thrive if he has that ability to be able to roam sideline to sideline. But it's extremely important to keep this guy clean, so you have to make sure that defensive line is right. But seeing him cross-facing that guard, ripping inside, and stonewalling him at the line of scrimmage was great to see by James. One thing I like about Shemar James is his impressive willpower and strength at the linebacker position. It's good to see him maintaining focus, aggression, and determination while pursuing the quarterback. When playing that linebacker position, you have to have the awareness to close the distance effectively. and he did just that on this play here. So let's run it. So zooming in on James, just watching him just firing off on the ball, just seeing how aggressive this player is. If you're bringing a running back against him and you're not playing with good blocking technique, he will find ways to be able to floor you, completely removing that would-be blocker and getting straight to the quarterback. And as far as deploying this player, he has great closing speed, who I think at that linebacker position, blitzing in between A and B gaps, you can blitz him from the outside. There are a lot of things that this player could be able to do. And as far as the NFL Combine, he ran a 4.69 and a 40. In the Senior Bowl practices, he reached the top speed of 20.7 miles per hour. So it's not always about the 40 time. Playing out there in live game action is a different ball game. You see on film that he can roam sideline to sideline. He has that ability to be able to close once he sees his target. So that is great to see. It's all about putting this player in the right position to be successful. But seeing this player blitzing and going one-on-one with these running backs, there's a chance that he can be able to beat them and get home. With a player like James, many reps showcase his upper body strength. Though he's not the biggest linebacker, his strength is clearly visible during live play. And on this play, the tackle pulls to the right but overextends, giving James the opportunity to capitalize with another rip move that allows him to make a clean tackle. So let's run it. So locking on this play here, just watching Shemar James get in position right behind that defensive end. The right tackle pulls and misjudges positioning, and Shemar James gets low and rips with that left arm. In playing a game of football, you know they always say the lowest man wins. If you can be able to dip low like that, and you got that strong upper body strength to be able to rip quickly, this is how you can be able to quickly expose these offensive linemen. Getting to the running back and making another stop. It's so good to be able to see this coming from this player, because not only is this player a leader vocally on and off the field, but he backs it up when it's game time. And if you can be a player with the ability to be able to shed blocks quickly, and you can show that once you get to training camp and preseason, it will be hard to keep this player off the field. Here's another rep where Shemar uses good footwork, gets small, and generates pressure on the quarterback. So running this play here, you see that he's blitzing. They love this player blitzing in between A and B gaps, but just studying his footwork and using a quick hop step. The thing is, not only is the hand usage key, but you have to be able to use great footwork. So now he's in position to hunt down the quarterback. And this is a lot of the traits that we saw from DeMarvion Overshown. The thing is, with that kind of player, he is a very, very special talent, but he's going to have to stay healthy. Because if you can continue to keep on bringing in these talents, the NFL is not for long, so you want to keep that competition ramped up. Because once we get to November, December, and January, we need these guys out there on the field. And like I said on the first clip, it's not always about getting that sack, but if you can be able to force that quarterback to make a bad throw, sometimes that can be intercepted by another defender, and that is how you can be able to flip these games. And not only that previous play, but here's another example of him generating pressure and forcing the quarterback to throw a bad ball. So locking on this play here, you see those long arms. You can just see that he has so much command as far as that defense, but seeing him locking in on that center, physically pushing him out the way, seeing a lane and quickly locking in and attacking that quarterback. And when I see these plays, it gets me so hyped when it comes down to that linebacker position. It makes me miss football so much because I know the importance of having good linebackers when it comes down to defense. So that was another one of those balls that was thrown bad by the quarterback, and it ended up being an incomplete pass. There's a lot of things that this player needs to work on, but I think that the things that he has shown that he can do well, this is how you can be able to get burned on special teams, and Matt Eberflus could utilize you on certain packages. And as far as his coverage ability, I think that he's really effective going up against these running backs, some of these bigger tight ends. I have my questions about going against these slippery wide receivers, but a lot of these plays, I've seen him in match coverage over the middle, as well as being effective playing in zone. He can sharpen that up too because he does get beat in the passing game, but it's all about putting his player in the right spot. Seeing a lot of these reps of James, one thing I could say for the good and bad, he does play with a high motor and plays to the whistle. And like we've said before, he's not the most athletic linebacker, but if he sees it, he has enough speed to roam sideline to sideline and make key stops. It's all about having players that can hunt like wolves and rally to the ball. So let's run it. So locking on this play here, you see that they're running on the opposite side of the ball. The tackle, he climbs down and tries to attack Shemar James. He quickly disengages, sees that running back, and takes off. And it's good to see the closing speed when it comes down to this player, having that nonstop motor and the ability to be able to finish. Because sometimes when you can be able to lay a body on these defenders, they can end up coughing up that ball. So being physical, roaming sideline to sideline, using his hands well, blitzing and pressuring the quarterback, these are the things that you're going to get when it comes down to this player. And as far as the 2023 season, he played in 8 games, but he ended up having a season-ending knee injury that required surgery. But in 2024, he was locked in and he had himself a solid season. And I'm sure players like DeMarvion Overshown will do the same. One of the issues that I have evaluated when it comes to James is he overthinks on some reps and jumps out of lanes. And this is something he has done quite a few times. And sometimes your first instinct is your best. You don't want to overthink it because sometimes that could be backbreaking to the team. So let's run it. So running this play here, just watching Shemar James, he sees the run and quickly hops out of the gap. And if you're going to be in the NFL, if you're hopping out the gap like this, these running backs will quickly get to that second level and stress out the defense. Now, number 7 was the guy to be able to make the tackle, but if he wasn't able to make this tackle, there is a chance that it could end up being a touchdown. You don't want to overthink it when it comes down to that linebacker position. You got to be on full go, but using your eyes, not being overly aggressive, and getting in position are extremely important. And it was not only this play, there were a few plays that I seen of him doing this. And with these linebackers coming to the NFL, they're not going to be perfect prospects. There are a lot of good things that this player can do, but there's a lot of things that he needs to work on as well. So it's good to be able to break down the good and the bad when it comes down to these prospects. But second guessing and jumping out of position is one of the few things that he needs to work on. Another issue I noticed is his tendency to miss tackles both between the tackles and in open space. He'll need to clean this up if he wants to see playing time. So running this play here, the quarterback gives the running back the ball to the left, but you see that he was patient, shuffling to the right and finds the lane, closes in, and misses that tackle. And one thing with Eberflus and all of the defensive coaches, not only do you have to have an understanding of the defense, but you have to make those tackles. He did have 64 tackles this past season, but it would have been a lot more if he put himself in the right position, played with good technique, and stopped these runners. And sometimes with some of these linebackers, they tend to play hero ball, trying to make every single play, and that's how you quickly either get washed out of plays or you do not end up bringing down these ball carriers. So Shemar making sure he's in proper form when tackling from time to time is something that he can improve on. For a linebacker, it's crucial to avoid getting caught up in blocks from opposing players. While no prospect is perfect at this, including James, it's definitely an area he needs to improve. When large offensive linemen lock onto him effectively, they create lanes for running backs to gain extra yards. And to succeed in the NFL, James has to get better at engaging and quickly shedding blockers to make plays, rather than throwing himself into traffic and creating easy opportunities for runners. So we'll go ahead and run it. So running this play here, watching Shemar James, he knifes inside and quickly gives his body up. And being a second level defender, if you can get removed from the play that quickly, it makes things so much easier when it comes down to these running backs and these run lanes. And these kind of plays like this happen when you're overly aggressive and you're not putting yourself in the right spot. And not only that, offensive linemen getting to the second level, there is film that I saw where he wasn't able to disengage, so that's something that he can be able to work on as well. But being around 225 pounds, you're 6'1", I think that with his body size, he has enough room to be able to tack on more pounds, especially when you're going up against these offensive linemen, because it will be even more challenging going up against these linemen at the next level. So jumping out of lanes, the missed tackles from time to time, as well as being caught in blocks are areas for concern when it comes down to James. But if this player can lock in and stay focused, I'm sure that he can be able to clean a lot of his issues up. So in this final play here, James shows great awareness by securing an interception. His good coverage positioning and quick reaction to the quarterback's errant throw resulted in a turnover. Creating turnovers is crucial, and giving the ball back to Dak Prescott and that explosive offense can be game-changing for the entire team, Cowboys family. So we're going to run it. So locking on this play here, just watching my guy flipping his hips, just riding that player's hip pocket and passing them off. Turning around and watching the quarterback scrambling to the left, throws it off his back foot, misses that receiver, and James was there to pick off that ball. And this is what we love to see when it comes down to that linebacker position. You got to find ways to capitalize off the offense's mistakes and make these big time plays. He didn't get a lot of interceptions in college, but if you can be able to get one or two, maybe that could be the difference in winning the game. But as far as this player, I am extremely excited to see him once these guys get to training camp because we need these linebackers to get going. So as far as the linebacker position, when you have players like Kenneth Murray coming in, you got Sanborn, DeMarvion Overshown, competition will be ramped up. This is a player in Shemar James that shows a lot of good things on the field. If he can't play that linebacker position year one and get burned on the field, special teams is always wide open. He's been playing that all throughout his career, and that's where this player can possibly shine in year one. But he's going to have to prove it and get this thing rolling. So comment below and let me know what you guys think about Shemar James and who else do y'all want to see me break down just like this video. So make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe and hit that notification bell because the way the YouTube algorithm works, if you don't hit it, you'll miss some fire updates and the best football film sessions on YouTube. All right, Cowboys Nation. Talk to y'all soon. Gone.